What's going on, everybody? Hey, David Mitchell here, my lovely wife, Val. How are you? And the voice of Autism, episode 230. And you're a little sick right now.
Side effects from the booster.
Side effect from the booster shot, from getting the COVID booster shot. Ironically, me and Val got that yesterday.
Actually, I found out if you got a little side effect that lasted a few days, that means the vaccine is working.
Yeah, my hand is sore from it, but it's good.
Me too, but I have fatigue.
But yeah. Also, if you guys are wondering why we got a link to Spark, it's because we're going to talk about Spark today. Am I right?
But not all.
Not all, because there's some stuff that we're doing with them that is special. Am I right? That you guys gotta wait until April for when Autism Accepted Month or Autistic Accepted Month is here, or what our people call it, Neurodivergent Month.
David, please. In the Philippines, we call it Autism Awareness. So don't take it as a scare.
I know.
Okay? Because I've observed about you, like, you're saying awareness is a scare. David, let me clarify it. If you know how to work on the buggies, you gotta open your mind.
True.
Awareness is a sense of educating people about autism. So don't take it as if it is a threat.
I know that our people take it as a threat. Don't know why.
That's their opinion.
Hey, if it's their opinion,
just let them be. We have no control of other people's opinion, but we do have to control our opinion sometimes.
Yep, that's true.
That's what we learned from last Thursday's interview, and we don't want to tell you all full details right now because something suspense will do.
Yep.
This is something that everybody in the autism community doesn't know, so you guys gonna wait for it.
Right. Now, here, Jane. Everybody is different, am I right, Phil?
Yep.
Everybody have different opinions. And most people don't realize that. Now, an autistic community, we understand it, am I right?
Yep.
My cheek a little raw, but most people don't understand. Our people do, but people in our own community understand. Am I right about that? Now, if you guys are wondering what Spark is, if you have never heard of it, it's an autistic group or organization, and they will form around 2016. So they've been around for about 6 years. So yeah, and we got to meet with some people who run it, but that's all we're going in about that. But they do DNA for autistics. Try to look out and all that. You want to tell more, Val?
Not right now.
That right. You still have migraine. Am I right? Val is a little bit after the COVID shot or the COVID vaccine. Or not COVID vaccine, but COVID booster shot. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you're still feeling under the weather from that. But Spark is pretty good. Like, they might help around just the community. Now, there are some people who don't like them, which everybody have their own opinion, you know? And I talked to some of them when they came to the Autism News Network when we would do the interview with them, and we talked about some stuff, and I also brought up, you guys know how I do not support Autism Speaks. I brought up with them why they should not support them, and I brought up a lot of our organizations that are connected with them, and they already did took what I was saying to heart, actually, with Not that many people it does when it comes to autistics, but damn, it's crazy. Uh, buddy, sorry, my dog in the room, but it did been crazy. Now for autistics, we all want people to understand though. We do. And sometimes when it comes to reach buddy buddy
Buddy,
but
what are you doing?
he itching down there.
Speaking of Buddy, my lovely pug from the fair pug collection.
Val got a thing with pugs.
I'm a pug freak, okay? I'm a pug freak, and I love pugs because they're so sweet, fluffy, like me. On the other hand, autism community has experienced a lot of discrimination, and it was the most misunderstood disability because they think, oh, so you're autistic. I call you weirdo. Yeah, I'm sorry, but here you can say, I mean, you're a retard. And they're giving you a ballistic gesture and favors.
The thing about being autistic, if you get diagnosed at a young age, you would probably get discriminated against for no reason. That's the thing about being autistic, because you never know if people are going to accept you or to push you around like a little turd.
Or a piece of meat, treating you like a piece of meat.
I was going to say the S word, but I decided not to. You remember from Venom, that part where he said rolling down the hill like a little turd?
It's not a bad word at all.
I know, but it's funny.
I like the song "Such a Giant Turd."
But Jane is that autistic people, we deal with segregation because that's their thing. When you're diagnosed being autistic, you get automatically segregated. Am I right? Because you don't get that much good jobs. They give you a hell of a time when you're trying to learn how to drive. Heck, and you try to have kids, they'll probably try to take them, or they'll try to, against your will, freaking spade you like an animal, or sexually like neuter you. Back in the 1780s, they did that to a kid, not kid, but a adult woman who was probably autistic, and they did it against her will. We cut her tubes.
Ouch.
Am I right?
Nope. Oh, I don't know.
Her opium tube. Or
fallopian tube? Ew.
So they technically made it where she can't have baby.
Yikes.
And what happened is that now that the autistic community have it, they've been doing a little hashtag for justice for her. One of the people, if they're still alive, be put in jail for ableism. With ableism, and again, someone who is disabled is illegal now. Meaning what they did back then would get you put in jail now.
Poof.
And that was about 40 years ago, so about 40 to 50 years ago. So what they did back then, if they did that now, they would have been in jail. Am I right?
Yep.
Heck, and Jane, autistic people, we try to make sure, even though we're autistic, and if we do start families, we always make sure that the states we live in and the area that we live in don't screw us. Because, trust me, there are a lot of people out there who don't want autistics having their own family and making more autistic people. Right there, ableism. Am I right? Yep. A little sleepy. But it's something that we go through here in the U.S. and our country, even in your country. Am I right?
So a lot of people in my home country never understand autism. That's the very hurtful truth right there, that nobody accepts the fact.
And if I'm right, they still do bleaching in your country to autistics. Am I right?
Nope.
Oh wow, I get your country got ahead of that because they still have a bad problem with that in Europe. Like,
Autism in the Philippines needs a lot of education right there, because in college where I studied, they have no to little autism education about autism, and I was called a threat to the community, where I know that I'm not just because I am autistic. You know,
mm-hmm.
like, you don't treat people with autism like that. Heck, especially in my home country's full of judgmental people. Let's be honest about that.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and I hear a train coming. But Jane is that autistic. We have to go through some shit, and that's the auto train. But let me say this: if you're autistic, they'll leave you at a threat when you're not even violent or when you have no harm.
Yeah.
Heck, the people in the video on YouTube, I'm not putting it in chat because I don't want to promote it because of what it was wrong. These people called the cops on an autistic girl who was listening to music on her phone, walking around, doing nothing wrong. Cop came around. They asked her her mom was, but she was a little bit too mindset with listening to music. They grabbed her. They actually handcuffed her, and actually they restrained her, and they forcibly put her in a cop car against her will. Jane is, she was not doing anything wrong. Like, and the people who called the cops to come and get her, I hope you people who do that get DDoS attacked. Or not DDoS attacked, get your address leaked.
Oof.
Because what you did, calling the cops on the autistic girl who was not doing anything wrong, is awful. Like, and heck, if I had an autistic kid and I was the chief of police and I seen that video, I'm sorry, but them two cops, bye-bye, terminated. Because, be honest, it's up in... And heck, there were people who comment video saying the cop did the right thing, and it irked my gear because they did... No, they didn't. And the people who called the cops on the autistic, they were in the wrong too.
They're in the wrong pace. They're in the wrong character.
Did just say if you're autistic and you're minding your own business, doing nothing, and you're doing something that make our people who are non-autistic feel uncomfortable, they'll literally call the cop on you, and you would sometime either get put in handcuffs, shot, or freaking tackled, and being restrained to the point where you either die.
Yep.
And it's something that autistic people have to go through on a daily basis.
Yikes.
And the thing is, that's why autistic people in our community been trying to cooperate with the police, educate them on stuff that autistic people have to go through. Buddy trying to find somewhere to lay down. I gotta get him a doggy bed one of these days. But people literally call problems for autistic, and I'm talking about neurotypicals. Like literally. And the video actually showed her not doing anything wrong. She would not bother anybody, and she would just listening to her music on her phone. And then that triggered her, and she was having a meltdown after they took her phone from her. They took her phone from her. Then they hold her to the ground, or technically like restrained her, and then put handcuffs on her and put her in a police car. This girl was terrified. If you watch the video fully, Drew, and you understand autistics, it would make your blood boil.
Yikes.
Because I'm sorry, when you do this to an autistic person who don't mean any harm, and doing just shit, and you did it, you deserve to get shit thrown right at you. That's what I'm going to say, because autistic have to deal with shit like that all the fucking time. Like, literally, if you're not doing anything wrong, you still get in trouble. If you're trying to help someone, you get in trouble. Everything, like, it ain't about being autistic. You never know if someone's going to do something wrong against you, and you get harmed because of their ignorance. It's something autistic people have to go through on a daily basis, and the reason why I call segregating in the autistic community. Because let's be honest, if you go back to the civil rights movement, if you were a black person and you did anything to help anybody, it would be seen wrong. If you were not doing anything and minding your own business, same thing happened. Autistic people did our civil rights movement right now to show people how we feel. Our civil rights movement. Because let's be honest, this civil rights movement expand from different walk of life of people who are autistic. Am I right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep. I'm sorry. I was really fatigued right now. Excuse me.
But the thing is autistic people want to segregate and up our kind or our minority in community to end. We want to segregate into end. We want the stigmatization into end. We want the ableist up to end. I know hate is going to be around. You can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you just replace it with understanding and love. That's the thing. Is there anything you want to say about it, Val?
Honestly, the reason why the world was never unified, especially in the autism community, is because there are a lot of narrow and close-minded people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who had an ableistic attitude towards autism community. Like, if you guys don't like us to be your friends, just at least give us respect. We both have autism. This is something we don't brag. We brag it all the time. We're not gonna lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't stop speaking up for the right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. If you guys gotta tell us to keep our mouth shut, we won't.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Because we have every right to stand up. Am I right?
Speak your truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Because people do not know how to tell the truth now.
Mm-hmm. You gotta keep on fighting. Keep on getting your voice out there. Keep on making a stand against ableism and unequal treatment.
Yep.
Because if we don't,
Excuse me.
where are we going to be when our grandkids, our kids are here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where was we when we made the change? Put the change in.
Yep.
Because autistic people, did our time to sign and show the world what we're made of. And show them we're not going to put up with the segregating ableist bullshit because we are treated differently, because we are different mindset. Am I right?
Yep.
Because one, autistic people, we have to go through from day one when we get diagnosed on the spectrum of with segregating. Sometime like either afterward or before high school and any type of school.
Spam.
Uh-oh. Oh, Valve. You got the spam watch. That's Valve for you. Am I right? But the thing is that we are trying to fight for equal right. And Jane, that's something else. When you get diagnosed, no, you're either going to get put into bad schools or schools that don't want to educate you the way you do.
Yep.
You want to. You sometimes, like for me, I had to rely on the internet all the way up until my last year of elementary school until my first 2 years of middle school. Ironically, before that like elementary school was bad for me. If you guys know all the stuff that I have brought up about me in elementary school, one of my worst times as a kid. It got better when I was around 10, but after I graduated when I was 10, I started middle school. Middle school wasn't mixed back, but well, a lot better. High school, 50-50. But thing is, when I was first diagnosed, they would just throw me like metaphorically crap, like a turd, left and right, and to trying to teach me the same thing, repeat day, every day with nothing. It was stuff that was made for maybe someone around 4, and I was 8 and 7 at the time. So they were teaching me stuff that I was way too older, like literally trying to teach me stuff that you would have at a little kid, and I was already old enough to already know this. Heck, they kept on doing it to me in high school. Like when I was in high school, they kept on trying to force like stuff that you would do for a toddler on me, and I'm sorry. I had to prove them wrong. I did my own shit, and I proved them wrong. And they tried to make me stay back until I was 21, and I told them, look, I will be graduating at 18. If I don't graduate, then I'm dropping out. It either let me graduate at 18 or I will drop out. Don't force me to stay for not one more year. I told them that because they made me stay and I was not able to graduate when I was 17, so I put an ultimatum in, and that right. I told you before, am I right, Val?
Mm-hmm.
I gave them an ultimatum. And Mama knew that she want me to graduate, but she don't want me to, drop out. So she decided to follow on through and let me do it. Because let's be honest, I can't say, oh, maybe next year. Oh, maybe next year.
Excuses.
Yep. And heck, with my birthday being right at the drop-off point right, if I started school right at 20, the week later I'll be let go because I'll be 21 that next week. So I decided, saying no, I'm not going to age out of the system. I'm not going to be hold back for a year. I put my foot down. Because I knew that they would think about making me probably going to make me hold back until I was 20. And I put my foot down saying, no, I'm not going to stay for another 2 more years. It either you graduate me now or I'm dropping out. Because I was already 18 when they did because they were outly thinking about making me stay back for 1 more year again for my 19th. And I told them no. I straight up told them no. I gave them an ultimatum. It either that I literally graduate this year or I will be dropping out. And let's be honest, my mom knew I was serious because and I told her, look, I'm 18, I have every right to decide myself. I'm an adult. Because the 18 is when you're an adult. Am I right? But yeah, I got my way, and there, I'll be honest, if I had stayed back one more year, I would probably be somewhere even worse, or probably in the shitter, if you know what I mean. It would have probably been way worse for me off if I had stayed back for one more year. Now, is there anything you want to say, Val?
Mine, on the other hand, I was a rebellious freak because when I was in the kindergarten, I was really low key bullied. I was the victim of a bullying in a low key setting, and also this shows that there are a lot of lack of knowledge in the autism. Autism education, autism awareness, and it sucks. And way back, I was very nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't want to bring this up, but you think you want me to do it, so I'm doing it too. I'm gonna be honest about that. I'm sorry. I originally could not do live stream with you, but if you want me to do, and you want me to stay here.
Yeah, because it helped with you because you are able to vent out and talk about stuff that you have to go through.
Well, I'm just trying to be honest with you guys because people in YouTube that you see are scripted, sometimes very flattering, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of courage. Like, they're not even telling the truth. So I'm not trying to be mean, but don't take it as if I'm degrading everybody in the YouTube. So this is what something that you guys learn. Be honest. If you gotta vent out something, feel free to do that. Do it in a nice way. So way back in my high school, I was classmates with my twin brother, and honestly, my parents claim as if he's protective, but I didn't see that he's protective. And honestly, when I was in high school, I wasn't free. I was totally controlled, and I have no problem dealing. I mean, actually, I do have a handful of problems with teachers, and I do have a lot of problems with students because here's the mindset. There's this high school mindset that if you're quiet, they'll be taking advantage of you, and intellectually if you're intellectually disabled, they will take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they see me as a quiet person, and I didn't know how to speak for myself until 15. When me and my nanny got into an argument. That's the time that I developed being outspoken and slowly being outspoken right there. Because I was also a part of a girl group under an autism organization where I was not even comfortable. It was
And
out
where
of my
they
will.
abused you.
They abused me mentally. I want to bring that up a lot, but I'm doing whatever. I'm doing it whenever I'm ready. That was another thing. Even though it's not related to the high school experience, but it's in my high school age. Well, I do have secret dreams and ambitions in life that I cannot tell everybody because in high school I was backstabbed by classmates of mine who are now graduates of college. Let me tell you, you got lucky. You were able to graduate college comparing to me who was so dedicating to do it. And there's this one classmate of mine who calls me noisy even though I am not that talkative. And it was in elementary that I have the worst life in my 5th grade and 4th grade that In my fourth grade, I was blamed on something that I never did.
Mhm.
And in fifth grade, I became a rebellious. I became a rebellious freak. And in grade six, the bullying continues. And they compared me to another classmate. And also, it was a painful experience that I really wanted to talk to my mom that I want to go to international school where I became free. I wanted to go to elementary abroad, and I never told this to everybody. It is even my childhood dream to live in the US. When I was in my elementary years, this is the time that my mom was finding a way for me to be in to be taken care of by another caregiver abroad. It was really a big dream for me. It was a big opportunity, but she held it back. That's another side note about the childhood experience that I have. I was supposed to be migrated to Canada at the younger age, but we were not able to do it. So it is even my dream to study in Canada and in an elementary childhood education. I mean grade school. I mean we call it grade school, basic education department. But the reason why I wanted to go abroad is because I don't feel the love in the Philippines either. I was misunderstood even though I was venting out my frustration to one of the therapists. This is when I was in special school. I know it complicated, y'all. Sorry if I um going around the bush, like I'm zigzagging the topic, but if you guys want me to rephrase it, like we gotta get back to the basics then. Okay, this was let's start with my elementary years. This was in my elementary years that I was low key bullied. I was bullied in a low key level, kindergarten, and that's the time I started to have uncontrolled emotions. And I have emotional stress ever since my childhood, and it was undiagnosed, untreated. And way back in grade school, I was a rebellious freak, where I started being classmate with my own twin brother because my parents thought that I would never do it by myself. But honestly, I wanted to go on a separate class with my twin brother to get myself independence, but they ought to have me and my brother being in the one class, which I honestly don't like the idea. And he even acted like an elder, but he's not. I am the eldest, and he used my mistakes against me. And that's the time to the point that I took it out on one of the teachers that I have. I took it out on one of the teachers basically. I was a bad girl because I wasn't able to express myself and I was really frustrated that nobody would understand me. And on the second grade, I ended up having an award, a special award, despite all of the setbacks. Second grade, I never had a bullying experience, but grade 3, third grade, I do. I do have a third grade bullying incident where some of the classmates who bullied me, who became college graduates, were pretty sided on my brother. Instead of me celebrated a birthday as a twin, she just greeted my brother instead. And there, I was also taken out of context too. Like they're getting they verbally abused me. They verbally bullied me. because they know that I cannot stand for myself. I cannot stand up for myself. I cannot speak for myself. I don't talk that much, and I don't talk that much like in that time. And also my fourth grade, like I said, I was the subject of a blackmail. I was being blackmailed. I was falsely accused of something that I never did. And that's the time I was thinking about, like, they're close to getting me about, sorry, let me rephrase that. I really wanted to kind of bring that up, like, I wanted to go to another school that loved me for who I was, that there's no discrimination at all. But I just stayed in the same Catholic school. In fifth grade, I do have less, it's a 50-50. At the time, I almost learned how to socialize. In sixth grade, this was the time that I was bullied again, verbally, where they compared my handwriting to another handwriting of my classmate, and it sucks. Like, sometimes, even though my twin brother and I were classmates, he had the habit of treating me like property. And during our graduation, I never had a parent to accompany me, which is a sad thing, but I'm just gonna continue with the flow. And fast forward to high school, I did first year to second year of high school, because we do have no middle school or senior high school, junior high school yet. Okay, excuse me. First year of high school, first year and second year high school, I experienced the verbal bullying continues, especially in this first year. I got, like, there's this one classmate of mine who has the most beautiful face, who has the most colored treated hair in the class. She was saying she'll be friends with me, but it turned out to be that she will not be friends with me because she found out that I was autistic. Her name is Charm. Sorry, I'm dropping names a little bit. And I was used to be friends with her. I was used to be friends with her. The first time we met, she was a transferee. Like, she was talking to me very well. Months after, she wasn't the charm that I know during the first day of school. Like, I spoke English to her straight, and it's one of the most highlighted betrayals that I have in high school. I was the most friendliest person, where I adopted the habit of greeting people, which we really need to do that. Not in school, but also in your job when you're greeting people in the restaurant and when you're a guest relations officer.
Mm-hmm.
David, let me continue talking, please.
All right.
And also, with Charm being betraying to me, this is something that gave me a red flag. Because I don't know how to handle things very well. So I ended up being a crybaby. I even having meltdowns against her. She doesn't seem to care anymore. So even her friends, they backstab me. Even though they're not mentioning my name, but I can hear them talking about it. And that really upsets me. And I don't even have the power to tell to my parents about it. And Well, I was thinking about transferring to another school, transferring to international school abroad. It was really disappointing. Like, there are the mean girls in my high school, and they even made embarrassing mistake in school. They almost got suspended for that. And in my second year, I met this queen bee, in my second year, where she was the queen bee of the class. And there's this one incident that we practiced the jingle song that I did for an arts class, for, we call it the mapping class. I was crying. She was like she was mad at me. She don't want to talk, acted like she don't want to talk to me. And she don't want to talk to me. Like, this is actually a different, guys, this is a different person this time. I'm talking to this different girl. Okay, a different classmate of mine, not Charm, but another girl that I won't drop names, but this is a clue. I'm giving a blind item. Like, I did this in the tune of Heartless by Kanye West, by Chris Allen. We practiced in her house where my twin brother was part of. And she was also a dancer. She was also a leader of every group. We do have performance tasks at one point. Honestly, I don't get along with her because she's a queen bee. She's a queen bee. Like, she was an entitled queen bee that doesn't understand about someone's feeling, even though she has a lot of good friends around her. But I stood and suck it up and do the work, and we were able to do it. And there's this teacher in MAPE in the Philippines that told me about life. That teacher was the reason why I became stronger. And there's this one classmate of mine who became an angel to me. She found out that I was having, that I have a strong potential to be myself. And she said, "How will you grow if you're being dependent on your twin brother?" At one point. And I realized that you don't need to be a property for your twin brother in order for him to be satisfied. High school and grade school experience doesn't even happen bullying, but sibling issues do happen. And it was the third year that, where, like, second year and third year high school, I became part of the girl group, where I was forced, this is a side note, but this is a high school related age. In my high school related age, I was forced to sing with the other girls who are a Miss Universe body and who perform way better than me. And that time I wasn't better in singing. I can sing, but I don't know how to technically use my singing voice at that time. So I do miss some of the classes and sacrifice my class times for the event. Even though I was bullied and I was mistreated by both teachers and classmates, I did try my best to stand up for myself by not just being a singer, by being outspoken. And there's this one teacher that I admired that literally pissed me off when he said that he was so impressed because I don't act like a special child, aka I don't act like an autistic. To me, the way he speaks that it was an ableistic behavior.
It is ableistic because that right there would call insult.
To me, he had an insult against my autism and myself. And that hurt me. And he was one of the teachers that I admired so much until this letter came in, until this caption that he shared on Facebook saying that he would he was so happy that I don't act like an autistic. And I do have also another autistic classmate of mine in first year. I was also compared by him because he is intelligent. He is a math wizard, and he's also a science wizard. He is freaking intelligent. He was also misunderstood, but I mean, although I have the worst experience than he has, that he, my classmate, that he has, me and him got along. We're in good terms, but when they did this kind of singing thing, I was even compared. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna cry and do nothing. So fast, but let's go back to my third year high school. I do deal with ableistic teachers on board. And I do deal with teachers who love me for who I was. And they there are some teachers who were so happy that I help around, and this was a mixed bag for me. And this was the year that I stopped being in the girl group because of toxicity that was going on. This is a time when my mom was guilt tripping me at that point. Why am I quitting the group? They knew that I want to go back. I want to go finish my schooling because education is what I valued until now. I still valued education than anything else. Health is on top. Studies, education values a lot to me more. And mental health too. And since in my time mental health doesn't exist, it sucks. And also there's also a guidance counselor that I thought that I could trust. Like, I was hoping that she would support me for who I was. And I do understand, but at the same time I hope I could hear myself out too. Third year was a little bit mixed bag to me. But this time I am dealing with a little arguments also with my twin brother. Third year, it was just mixed bag. Fourth year high school, on the other hand, where I am transitioned to college, this is a time that I spoke to every batchmate, to my whole batchmates. I told them this. Is this what you learned from your parents? In my second language is Filipino. And I don't know that they're going to be shocked. I didn't know they're going to be shocked. Is because they thought that I will never speak up again like the way it is before. I've changed. Fourth year high school was the year of change. It slowly changed my life, it slowly changed my singing, and it slowly changed my opportunities on board. I remember there's experience that I was so happy despite all the pain that I've been dealing with my own classmates. I do make friends with students who are way younger than me because I can see the siblings and the siblings in them. They were more mature than my own batch. They were more mature than my batch of my classmates. And I also have a bad side of myself. I may be a little greedy. I might be a little greedy because I have a miscommunication with some fellow club members, where I was part of the music club. That I'm still struggling with social anxiety. This was the time when I was a club president of the music organization for high school students. This was my first time experiencing becoming a president, because way back in my past years I was being the secretary, assistant secretary, but when I came to be the president of the organization, it was a special opportunity for me to get my voice heard. And it was a special opportunity for me because we in the autism community in school, I mean, I want to spread awareness for autism community in that school in my home country. And being a president was a special thing to defy people who thought that I don't have the guts to step up in my game, and I did with me being the president of the music club. It went well, and fourth year was the time that I slowly became independent socially. And it's also a special thing too. Also, I graduated in at 17 with two special awards. I have a loyalty award because I've been studying in that Catholic school uninterrupted. Excuse me, and I got the most active club member for the third time. First years I got most active member. Second year I don't. Third year I do, if I can remember. In the recognition day, my fourth year, the graduation, high school graduation, I do have a most active, and it's a really special award for me because I love to help around people. I love to show my altruism, and despite all the pain that I've had, there is also the joy. There's also freedom, and that make me exercise the freedom of expression. And we do have the right to have our freedom of expression. So, with my experience in high school, even though it's a Catholic school, we still need to normalize educating students and everybody in the community, in the school community, about autism and how to avoid misunderstandings and how to avoid bullying for people with intellectual disability and other type of disability. In college, when I entered college, when I was 18, I'm 17 years old. When I came to that school, I don't know I didn't know that nobody understands about autism. And I was a subject of case studies and I was okay with it. I'm happy about it. The case studies were psychology majors who are graduating. They're going to have their thesis and they're going to do a case study of people with intellectual disabilities or physical disability. That gave me a lot of hope to get back in my own feet and build up myself independently. This college year was the time that I'm not even classmates with my twin brother because he took up tourism. Actually, he used to take up pharmacy until his second year college year. I took up music in the bachelor level until second semester. I shifted to diploma. And when I got to school premises, as usual, I was very approachable to each and one of them. But some people took advantage of it because they know that people with autism are weird because they don't know what autism is.
That's stuff that go on in our community. Like, we have to deal with it on a daily basis.
Yep. And also, there's this one schoolmate of mine who welcomed us during our school tour. He betrayed me. I was friends with him until he unfriended me for no reason. And this person who unfriended me was a senior to me. He is 2 years my senior, and I am 2 years his junior. And I didn't know that he would do that to me without me knowing it. In college, I do experience betrayals, but with me dealing with teachers, it's very special. It is very miraculous because they will give you a consideration when you cannot do it. Especially when you're classmates with other neurotypical people, neurotypical blockmates. We call ourselves blockmates in college. In other classes, we call them classmates. In other cases, I was with my fellow music students. I deal with a lot of misunderstandings from them, and whew, and some people took my vulnerability in a bad way. And this is the time I started to date this guy who is already married 4 years before I got married. Actually, yeah, 4 years before I got married. We started having a lunch date during earthquake drill on June 2012. That was the 4th week of June when we did our earthquake drill. Launch date was very special, and he was one of my favorite people to hang out. He was one of my crush, but it turned out I was living in denial.
Mm-hmm.
Like I called them, it's just a friendly date. We're doing it in a platonic basis.
I know, and then he tried to blackmail you. Am I right?
Nope. I think some of the classmates did blackmail me without knowing it, but that's so I was hurt, but I decided to let it go. And that's the time I was really crying, but I know God has a reason for that. But although we're still in good terms, And there's this one teacher who is very special to me, who is a grandma material to me. She was my piano teacher. And her name is Miss Nellie. She was a really, really loving teacher and a very skilled piano teacher where she teaches kids. She teaches kids up to our level. She gave me a welcome heart, like she was welcoming me open arms, because I have a teacher prior to Miss Nellie that this teacher before her, she cannot be reached or she cannot be responsive. So I ended up having Miss Nellie to be my piano teacher for my piano minor. And that's the time I feel welcomed. I opened up to her about me being autistic until, like, this is only a 30-minute piano minor lesson. We do more than a piano minor, and it was really the best gift I ever had in college, which was having a teacher who is so connected to me, not just in skills aspect, but also in spiritual aspect. And I do have a voice teacher that she knows that I told her I have autism, and she was open about it, and I'm proud. Even though she knows I'm struggling, she was just there. She was there to give me a tough love, and I'm happy about it. I'm open about that. I'm proud. I'm proud that she was so accommodating at the same time. And I disclosed to her that I have a learning disability, aka autism. Even though they would take it as an excuse, I was formally diagnosed having autism, and until there's this teacher of mine that this teacher was also kind. She never judged me. There's another teacher of mine, a theology teacher. She never judged me for being autistic. Some student does. Some students does that, saying that I'm weird, I am annoying. I try to expose her, right? Expose her, not my prof, but the person who did a crap about me on that internet, social media secret file. And second year, it became flourished, or I got my first scholarship, and it was a special gift for me because I'll help my parents not to be burdened for their money or financial struggles, because all of us in sibling, all four of us are at college, and that would take my mom a lot of pain to in the ass. So I decided to go on a full scholarship until 2014 was also the best year because I also won two singing contests representing the constituency where I lived ever since my childhood. I've won twice, and it's both with a cash prize money for both constituents, the constituent people, and myself. And that's the time that motivated me to go on a professional career, but I have to go finish my studies. That's my promise to one of my nannies that I've had second to the last before I don't have any nanny with me or caretaker.
So you promised that to me once we get all your immigration stuff done too, to work on with your college.
Yeah, but it's gotta be out of the pocket for now.
Yeah.
But also, 2015. This is a time I lost my first scholarship because I failed one subject. I failed one subject in the music subject. It's a music subject. I failed first and in my first semester, and then I failed twice. The second time, actually, I failed the general education subject and the music subject the whole school year that I was on a scholarship, and shattered in tears until someone in that scholarship committee told me, "You have a hidden intelligence out of you."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "You got a hidden intelligence." So I took it as a compliment, took it as a sign to get better. So I took a gap year where I took part of Miss Possibilities, the first pageant for special needs in Asia. And I hope Miss Possibilities involvement would motivate me to go back to school and get on a full scholarship again, or at least have a financial assistance. If not, at least I could get a job and pay for my college fees. But it turned out to be not good. It turned out to be like unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, their discrimination existed.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
2016 was also a challenging year because ANCA, I became a representative for performing arts representing the Philippines, and I won, and I got the ambassador role for ANCA, and I got my first motivational speaking debut.
Also, same year, me and you started talking too. Am I right?
Yep. And this is a time that I was just clueless about being in a relationship, but that one could be on the other time. And
Yeah.
2017, it is also my other gap year. I have 3 gap years until 2017, 2018 second semester.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got my second scholarship, which is in this church where I've served since as a choir member since 2015. So I was given a scholarship by this foundation from the church. My dad supports me at that time. My dad is extremely supportive about me on the scholarship once again. He told me not to fail them again.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me a motivation to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Until
2019
until the 2019 and 2020 semester, first semester, that's where I did my recital, and my mom thought that I'm graduating, which I am not. I do have 3 semesters left to complete the certification. This second gap year, I am changing from diploma to certification because I failed music subjects again. So I did pass that failed music subject once again for the third time. It is a charm, and I did it with grace because I was also guided by one of the students who are in a school scholarship as a service hours, and I was friends with her, and she was not a voice major, but she is a string major. She's a string major. She's a cello student. And then the other one was my precious first tutor that I have. She was the viola student. So I made friends with people in the string department. So shout out to them. You guys are the best. And this is the time I feel happy at myself because my teachers found out that I lost confidence. I was so doubtful at myself. I think the professors expected something more from me. They convinced me to be more confident. And I befriended, like reconnected with my piano teacher, and it's such a joy after my second gap year. And I did make a secret promise to this church that I've been serving the choir, that I'll be singing with the choir. I will join any community service by the church from the church, and I did. And I was called a special scholar because this is actually a scholarship for students in the Bible school or in a seminary. But in the Christianity they call it the Bible school. In Catholics they have the seminarian. So I was so happy that I was the first autistic scholar and the only music student who got this special scholar. I was so happy that it was a special thing. This is an opportunity, and everybody in the family was so happy about it because I've been writing to different companies for financial assistance, but it didn't go well. This advice came from my fellow choir member because one of my friends, who is also a music student from another school, was writing a letter for a scholarship for financial assistance, and she got it. So I did the same. I wrote to every company, but it didn't work out that well until this church. The endorsement of this former pastor, who is now in Oregon. He endorsed me, tell him that I have to be at the council, talking to the council and the Mission and Benevolence Committee. It went well. I have to write them a letter, apply for the scholarship, and the council will have a deliberation. Days after, it went well because I did rehearsals on Wednesdays. And it was a joy. That's the reason why I'm so happy with that second scholarship. And until 2019-2020 second semester, I did file a leave of absence because my mom has been so pushy.
Yeah, I was a little upset with her mom because her mom was pushing her to come here to the U.S. And you remember, I told your mom that you should, be a little longer there in the Philippines too.
Yeah, because this is like, I know she said that, oh, your best friend graduated in 4-year course, but he never had a job. Actually, my BFF Joshua don't like the job, and he had a job after college, but he resigned because of discrimination that's going on in his office work. He is the one who resigned, to clarify that.
He told me and Val, but yeah.
I'm like...
And it's up that autistic people do go through even in school, workplace, anywhere.
And also, I left the country by accident. Abruptly, it didn't go as planned. And my conductor told me, you gotta finish your scholarship. The church has gave you the chance.
Also, COVID happened too.
And prior to me leaving the country, it was an overwhelming experience for me. It was an overwhelming reaction to me because I have to rush and do a rat race. And for the record, I only did file leave of absence, so they expected me to go back in 2020, but COVID.
The coup.
And
all that happened, and everybody would walk down, including here.
And I did also I did a fundraising for me to go to school online.
But that did not went well.
No, because she asked me to turn it down. She promised that she'll pay for it, but no to avail. But hopefully here in the US, the immigration will gracefully support me in my studies, in a scholarship at least. I'm praying to God. And hopefully that, like, hopefully I will be given a chance to fulfill my dream in going to school again. And that's what I'm praying right now, that hopefully I get my working permit while the I-130s are in the process, aka the adjustment of status and permanent residence application, because that will come up with an interview after the I-130 is approved. So the I-130A, I-130 are approved. We're gonna be on an interview stage. Hopefully me and David could be given a granted a stamp of granted. Hopefully we could convince the USCIS officers that me and David were together. Me and David were together not because we are portraying the ideal married couple, but we are being bona fide married couple because we've gone through a lot of pain, we've gone through a lot of struggles, especially we're living in the pandemic era. And hopefully I'm hopeful that the process of all the papers that me and David have will go smoothly, and hopefully they will reconsider us because David is on limited financial. Want me to bring that up?
Disability.
He's on disability, and I am under the sponsorship of my legal guardians, my aunt and her partner. I'm thankful for both of them because if it weren't for both of them, we weren't able to have the proper support we need, the proper support that I myself need. Because immigration literally, there, I'm gonna open that up. Immigration needs sponsor is because if that the case something happened, they will call the legal guardian. I love you, immigrate. I love USAs. I love you, USCIS. You guys are the best. And the reason why we have the waiting period longer because of the backlog.
That too, and also because of the pandemic, everything is slower because of it. But yeah,
and with the help of my immigration lawyer, I thank you, and with the help of my mom, even though we misunderstood, thank you too, and my family. And fast forward, speaking of love, marriage, today is Love Month, okay?
AKA Valentine.
And it's also the month of Down syndrome awareness. But let's go on with the Love Month, because Love Month is utmost important because speaking of us about marriage, like marriage, when I've read about USCIS, aka United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, are very strict with married couples for a very important reason.
For nobody using for money
or fakery.
A freebie to get into to US for free,
like a freeloader or for status. What I learned about it, I learned it from my attorney too. She told me the reason why they will interview a married couple like me and my husband is because to see if we were impressing them that we are literally a perfect married couple. But actually that's a misconception. A perfect married couple meaning you guys love each other, but you don't have argument, and you guys you don't make you don't want to make mistake. Actually, it's not true. And a real bona fide married couple, in our experience, in our perspective, is a married couple who are honest. Even though we have harder times, we deal a lot of tougher times. We deal a hard situation, like dealing with conflicts, we argue, miscommunications, it is completely normal in a married couple. Especially in our case, we are in a long distance relationship.
We were in a long relationship from 2017 until 2020.
And also, the immigration is very strict and adamant because they're expecting honesty from the married couple who is, a foreigner who is married to an American national, an alien married to an American national. Okay, so we did explain it the simplest way we can because this is very complicated. If you could expand your vision about married, interview by a USCIS officer, they will see by the way you open up if you're honest about it or you're just impressing them for no reason. They ask you a lot of personal questions they ask a couple a lot of personal questions more because they will see how honest you are. If they will give you hard-hitting questions, just like, did you guys argue? Did you guys got into a fight? Did you guys misunderstand each other? If you said yes and you're honest by heart, they will never take it against you guys. Trust me. I'm sharing this like those who want to follow the footsteps of ours. You may take it as an advice or as an instruction, simplified instructions. Well, the reason why they're also going personal because they want to extract information from both. They have that a married couple applying for a green card should convince the USCIS and by being honest. Like if they ask you, are you guys willing to have kids? If you say no, this is one mistake that applicants do. Saying,
buddy!
Buddy!
Oh my god, buddy.
Buddy, what the hell? Okay.
Buddy didn't knock over the fan.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like this is one thing, a misconception that there's one mistake that applicants do to the point that will make the immigration, that the USCIS officer denied their application. It's not just the financial, it's also the health. It is also you're just impressing them. Nope. If they would rather hear a no rather than hearing a lot of yes all the time. Just think about it. But if you answer the question short and precise. If the interviewer wanted you to elaborate, then explain. If they ask you, are you where did you meet? For example, where did you guys meet? Where we met each other at Spectrum Singles, an online date. What is Spectrum Singles? A defunct online dating site. That's it. You don't need to add more. It's not. They're not after that. They want short, precise answer. That's another thing. This is something we have to do. You don't answer long. You don't answer in a long way. You answer the shortest minimal way that you can. Like, which side you were sleeping? Do you have pajamas on? We're getting personal. I'm talking about the USCIS thingy, but that's what I want to share, and I'm not gonna stop. There's something I'm gonna share about it because I did read about this stuff while I was crying. So this is what I learned. So out of curiosity, I just want to share what I've learned. So going back to the love month. Love month is something that's not only for couples in a romantic way. It could happen in the platonic way. If you love your friends, don't be ashamed. because love is free. But before you love everybody else, you gotta love yourself first and foremost. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, what more you have a significant other beside you? That's the reason why they have a cold-hearted people, because they don't know what love is in the first place. And
that's true.
Love yourself first, okay? This is one an advice. I'm thinking about USAS all the time because they were so special in my books. Like, if the USAS was so satisfied and impressed and convinced that it's not just love, if you love yourself, if you're confident, and they see it in you, chances are you'll be given a stamp of granted, a stamp of approval. So, if you do love yourself, if you love your significant other, be honest about what you were saying, because one mistake, that it. But going back to love, well, I do love about immigration stuff. I am not an immigration lawyer, but I said this is based on what I've read today. It's a lot of complicated stuff, but if I love doing this, that's no problem. But what is love? Love is free. You love yourself. But before you love anybody else, you're gonna learn how to love yourself by what? By taking good care of yourself, taking good care of your mental health. If you feel like you're tired, take a break. Don't overwork for someone. If you overwork yourself just to impress people, you don't love what you're doing, honey. That's their thing. If they're mad at you, just let them be. At least you help yourself. If you love yourself and you learn how to take care of yourself, you can share that love to your friend, to your family. You can share your love to your friends. That's where you share and reciprocate love. Share them. Don't be greedy. Like, love your significant other if you have your significant other. If you love your significant other, your future significant other, for some, you love them for who they are. Like, even though they have a different cultural backgrounds, ethnicity backgrounds, you respect them. They're also humans like you, and they made mistakes. True love means they make mistakes that was unforgiving. They know how to admit their mistakes. You love them. Sometimes you gotta take a break, because too much love is harmful than good. There's a song, "Too much love will kill you," in the first, right? Too much love will kill you. Don't love too much to others. Love yourself. Left something for yourself. This is cons. If you give your love to everybody but you don't love yourself, that is also not good. Love yourself. Like, you put something on yourself. Put some love on yourself.
Love yourself and always be proud of yourself and never let it tear you down.
Yup.
But, yeah.
And also, February 14th is Monday, Valentine's Day. And Love Month is also celebrating some sports, like the Super Bowl.
It is Sunday.
And my beloved and my favorite one, the 20th, the Daytona 500.
But, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, me and David have plans for the Valentine week. I don't know with you.
Yeah, we still have plans. It's just that I gotta make sure everything works out.
And hopefully February 20th, this is a backup plan. If that's the case, me and you could not go to my favorite restaurant. If we have on a budget, maybe we're gonna do it in one of the class days, where we're gonna block out for hanging out with friends. Like, we were not gonna hang out with friends, but we're just gonna go, like, just me and you, if you like.
Also, we are planning stuff for your birthday, which is a month away.
Yeah, because March 9th is David's eye appointment, and I would sacrifice that for David's necessity.
But we'll be doing your birthday afterward. But
Birthday dinner, and then March 10th will be like a mini fellowship.
Now it is about 2:30
Snuggle!
in the morning, and I gotta get to sleep. So
Pug!
Oh.
Get my pug! Get my pug! Get my
But
pug!
yeah, but I'm about to fall asleep. Let's be honest.
But yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Apologize for Buddy. We're gonna say sorry on behalf of Buddy.
Oh, hold it, buddy.
Buddy, he don't want to wake up.
He's sleeping.
He effed up the fan.
Let me show you where he is. If you guys are wondering what.
Sorry guys, there's a bag.
You're right there.
Yep. Sorry to take this long because it's very personal.
Yeah, but he was the reason why the fan got knocked over.
Thanks, Buddy, for giving me a headache.
But yeah, I'm about to fall asleep, so I hope you guys
enjoy the show.
I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope everybody having a great Saturday. I hope everybody having a great weekend. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later.
No kissing. I have fever.
Oh, that right. Bye, guys. Oh. Oh.
Because you messaged your wife.
Oh. Bye.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. David, don't you